Let's do a thought experiment. Let's say my perspective on the UFO issue is completely fraudulent, and I simply lack strong critical thinking skills. And as a result of that, I perceive that the government is lying to me about UFOs. They know far more about UFOs, and UFOs represent, at least some of them, technology that's beyond next generation. But let's say all of that is false and a reflection of my subpar critical thinking skills, which is possible. If that's the case, what would the US government have to do to take the wind out of my sails? What would they have to do to stop 60 Minutes, for example, from doing future segments on this issue, giving credence to the potentiality that UFOs are beyond next generation technology of unknown origin? So what would be the grand strategy to put the kibosh on all of this suspicion that's beginning to emerge from different areas of American society, that the government is simply not telling the truth about UFOs and knows a whole lot more, and that UFOs far supersede mere conventional drones from China or Russia? What would the government have to do? Well, very simple. All they would have to do is say, hey, it's not true. All we're dealing with is conventional drones from China and Russia. And this has blown up, and this has turned into narratives that don't reflect reality. They could do that. Wouldn't be very challenging. Now, who precisely could do that to accomplish this goal? Well, I don't know, former CIA director like John Brennan could speak out about it. Former DIA director, I think his name is Jake Trapper. Is that right? Forgive me if I get it wrong. I'll put it I'll correct it with some copy. John Ratcliffe could talk against all of this narrative that's been emerging, and this narrative, the narrative of people like Chris Mellon and David Fravor and Luis Elizondo, the narrative they've been pushing. Barack Obama, former president, could speak out against it to try to quell all of this suspicion about the potential of truly unknown craft that supersede known technology. Who else could speak out against it? Well, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, could. The Director of National Intelligence that's sitting right now, Avril Haines, could speak out against it and not ever say something like, there's always the question of whether or not we're dealing with extraterrestrial intelligence
issues. But of course, there's always the question of, is there something else that we simply do not understand that might come extraterrestrially?
And oh, by the way, who would be really good to quell all of this suspicion that the government's lying to us? The director of NASA, Bill Nelson. He could just say, hey, there's no reason to even give a modicum of credence to the possibility that we're dealing with non-human intelligence. He could say that. It wouldn't be difficult for him. He wouldn't have to meditate in a cave for 20 hours to do it. He could just get behind the microphone at any given time and express that forcefully. It'd be really simple, really easy to do. Or how about our United States Congress? From the House and from the Senate, whether it's Martin Heinrich, whether it's Andre Carson or Tim Burchett, I cannot pronounce his last name for some reason, or whether it's Marco Rubio or Mitt Romney. They could just come out and say, I'm not happy about where this rhetoric is going. And I know the truth, right? I know the truth that we are merely dealing with drones from China or Russia that express technology that is what we are accustomed to in regards to current day scientific understanding. They could say that, but they haven't said that. They've said the opposite. What does that mean? It means that while I can't prove that the U.S. government has forensic proof that some UFOs represent technology of unknown origin that surpass current scientific paradigms, all of the communication coming from the US government, by and large, supports that contention. Now, I'm just going to leave the video at like this. Ask yourself, why is that? Now, just to be clear, I don't think Joe Biden has broached the UFO issue. All the other people I cited have. But the point is that at any moment he could implement a press conference and talk about how we need to be cautious in our rhetoric as it pertains to this issue. And he hasn't done that. Anyways, I just wanted to explore this thought experiment with you and try to highlight how absurd the past 4 years have been, if indeed UFOs represent nothing more than very competent drones produced by China or Russia. Please do not forget to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, you could check out my merch shop where I sell t-shirts. You could become a patron. You could become a YouTube member. You could give me a one-time donation. All of those links are in the description below. Or you could just slap a like on this bad boy, and I'll appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Special thanks to all patrons, YouTube members, those that have bought merch, those that have given me a one-time donation. I couldn't do without you. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.